brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the cabin.
The darkness is abating, though. I've heard from Matt Voitila, friend of the show, Matt Voitila, on he does weather research. By February 3rd, we will have sunlight by 5 o'clock.
No.
Yes, that's right. Like, not full, like, it won't be in the sky, but I mean, like, it'll not be below the horizon and dark.
It'll be creeping up. It'll be softly massaging the sky.
That's right. It'll just be kind of slowly, very slowly putting itself to bed for the evening. So 5 o'clock, not 5 a.m., 5 p.m.
Oh, I see.
Yes, so it'll still be in the sky slightly around 5 p.m. within a matter of a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I think we've turned the corner.
Reasons for optimism.
That's right.
That's what we're all about.
Of which I have very little.
Yeah, but there's one.
Very few.
And we're going to hang on to it for dear life.
Hang on to it for dear life. I will claw and scrape for this little bit of optimism.
Speaking of clawing and scraping,
yes.
are we going to talk about that bird fight that you woke me up with?
Did I wake you up with it?
No.
I was awake before you?
I was literally just getting out of bed, checked my phone.
Amazing.
And we'll get into this maybe a little bit later in the show.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We did our first life change thing last night.
And boy, are we exhausted.
Oh, exhausted. I can't even imagine what's going to happen on Wednesday. Snow Castle announced its artist lineup, so very excited about that. It's a solid lineup. Lecter will be in. We'll talk about that. We'll talk to him about stuff, I imagine.
I think that's how we usually roll.
Usually how we roll. And bird fight.
Oh.
It was so cool.
It's awful.
It's not awful. It's nature,
Okay.
Ollie. I think they're fighting over a Big Mac wrapper or something like that.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the cabin. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter with you on your Tuesday morning.
Now imagine that you wake up and one of the first things you're confronted with is a message containing a 2-minute long fight between an owl and a raven.
Yeah, a snowy owl and a large raven.
And I wake up and it's 5-something.
Amazing.
And for the next 2 minutes of my life,
perfect,
my ears are just filled with the sound of a raven screaming in agony. Why would you do that to anyone, Mr. Wheeler? Why would you send that video?
It was an incredible video. I'll admit, I watched it with the sound off.
As I am doing right now.
I did not know there was so much screeching until I watched it again.
Yeah, with the sound off, I'm sure it's a lot more palatable.
It is.
Because with the sound on, it's one heck of a way to wake up.
That is nature. Nature is running its course. I thought it was when I first watched the video. I was like, this is in Yellowknife somewhere? But it's in Fort Chip.
I mean, let's face it, it could very easily
be. But I mean, like,
so what we're looking at
a snowy owl in Fort
is
Chip,
what looks like a snowy owl. I mean, my owl identification, like the owl looks snowy. I mean,
looks pretty snowy.
Is that what we consider to be a snowy owl?
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah. Snowy owl. So it's an owl and a raven. White owl, black raven, absolutely going at it. The owl is like latched on to the raven.
A microcosm for what's going on in North America.
And the owl just refuses to let go. And the raven, if you could translate raven into English, what you would be hearing is essentially, let go, ow, that hurts.
The raven's guard is excellent, though.
Yeah,
I have to say.
Yeah, ravens are incredibly intelligent.
He's really not letting that owl get much offense.
But the owl has talons.
The owl's controlling the fight, without question.
Yeah.
I feel like we just need to be able to dub in some crowd noise and Joe Rogan just screaming, and this is a viral video.
Kind of sounds like you got your morning cut out for you, bud. You're the dude. You do the production.
I'm the dude.
You're the dude, baby.
The issue with this video is that there is no resolution. Who won? We don't know.
I know, it cuts off before the end. I'm going to guess the owl.
What kind of person filming a bird fight outside a fast food joint
doesn't break it up and try to create some sort of
You know what? I feel like he kind of does. Like at the start,
Gentlemen!
He comes out of the fast food joint still filming the birds. And I honestly thought he was going to go in and be like, boys, all right, lads, you, that corner, come on.
And then they just both turn on him and claw his eyes out.
I would have watched that video.
I wouldn't get near. I've got a little bit of a fear of birds. I'm not afraid to tell you.
Right.
Like, I don't mind if a raven pops down next to me or whatever. But, like, an owl, I'd be like,
This is really good information to have.
Oh, God. No. Don't bring an owl in here.
I'm just going to release an owl into the studio at 6:59 one morning.
That would be terrifying. It would go after my face. Like, I love watching eagles fly, and like, I'll get as close as I can. But, I mean, you don't get that close to an eagle on purpose. But, like, the fact that it, like, has those talons, and that if it just swooped down on you and just kind of went, like, tried to pet you, it would probably cause massive bleeding and stitches required and all that.
Yeah.
They're terrifying. They're dinosaurs.
If you know anyone who has a trained owl that I can borrow, you can email mailbox@cabinradio.ca. Also, eagles. Sounds like eagles will also work.
That's right.
If you got an eagle or an owl that I just need it for like an hour.
A freaking whiskey jack would work.
Oh, I hate those
They're
things.
terrible.
Oh, my God.
They're terrible. Or a magpie. Magpies suck.
If you got a chaffinch, email mailbox@cabinradio. It's a finch. It's a small bird.
A finch. I know where we can get
the
a finch.
cha means small.
If anybody's got a mouse tit anywhere, you bring one of those in. They're very small. I could probably handle that.
Blue tit, great tit, cold tit, all the tits. If you've got... No, hang on a minute. Never mind.
Cabin Radio, taking all the tits. That's bird talk. Bird talk.
Ultimately, though, owl by unanimous decision.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. But Lawrence Nally posted that a little earlier this morning. He said it was filmed in Fort Chip, so I would like some confirmation on that because that's crazy. That's nuts. So if you find that on your Facebook feed, check it out. We don't post stuff like this, but maybe we should.
I've been weighing up whether Cabin Radio's Facebook feed is in the business of promoting bird fighting.
We're not in the business of promoting human fighting, but bird fighting, I'm on board.
Cabin Radio's morning show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
It's Taco Tuesday for Toonies. I don't know where. Just go to a business and ask for tacos for a toonie. Someone will give you a taco, right?
Walk into Coldwell Banker.
That's right.
Where's my taco?
Where's my taco?
It's Tuesday.
Here's my
after
toonie.
all.
Here's my tune on my Tuesday. I don't know why I called it that. Ollie and I started the Life Change program last night.
Yeah, how was day one?
We are incredibly tired.
You look changed.
You
look like entirely different. I didn't even recognize you when I walked in.
Life Change done. We don't have to go anymore. We're changed. Well,
it's
no,
quick.
actually,
it's efficient.
Well, it's quick. It's efficient. I feel like death. But that's beside the point. The first class was kind of an orientation. So, like, think first day of class. Right. Orientation, you sit down. This is what it's going to consist of. Did you follow the meal plan? Let's talk about the meal plan. Let's talk about my experience. Let's talk about what it means to try to change basically everything. Not just get into shape or get into a routine, but, like, change the way you eat, change the way you live. Because it's called Life Change for a reason.
Yes.
So that's what we did last night. We didn't actually do any working out, which is good. Because when I got home after work, I realized that I don't have any proper shoes for this. I thought I did.
You don't have sneakers?
I don't know where they are. They're lost in the house somewhere.
And so you turned up wearing what?
Skater shoes.
Skate shoes.
Skate shoes.
I mean, that's close.
To be fair, not skate shoes. Hush puppies.
Hush puppies?
Yeah, really comfortable hush puppies.
What are hush puppies?
Well, that's the brand of shoe.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember those gray shoes I had with the red bottoms, like the red soles? You remember?
Yeah,
you really like them.
Do they just look like skate shoes, basically?
Kind of. No, they kind of look like, I don't know what you would call them. Shoes.
Just really flat.
Just not good shoes.
Just not good.
They'd be good for like powerlifting because you don't have to do anything like agile with your powerlifting. Okay. You just have to plant your feet hard.
Gotta stand there and lift.
I just realized how bereft I was. Yeah, that's right, bereft of workout clothes. I had shorts with paint stains on them.
Can we talk about hot dogs?
Yes, we can. God, it's about time. I have been waiting to talk about hot dogs for so long. Where's the best hot dog in the city? How many hot dogs can you eat in one sitting? How many hot dogs is too many hot dogs in a month?
Luckily, you now have someone to talk about that with. I know! Because last night, one of the fellow inductees to this Life Change course, we were going around and all introducing ourselves one by one.
What our goals are.
Why we're doing the course, what our goals are. And this woman said, well, hey, I come to this course. Yeah, I want to lose a couple of inches, the usual, right? And then added at the end, and I'm addicted to hot dogs.
Addicted to hot dogs.
And everybody this was new. This is novel.
Yeah. And tell us more.
And so Scott, the guy running the course, genuinely leaned in. He was like, tell us more. And so she said, yeah, barbecued hot dogs. I don't really put anything on them, but I have to have them. And you leaned in and you asked, Jesse, like, well, which are the best hot dogs in town? And she was like, well, I don't know. I have them all at home.
She makes them at home. That's how she likes to eat them.
Armor hot dogs.
What kind of kid eats armor hot dogs?
It was a fascinating insight. I was like, well, that is. I can understand why you have come to this class because that like we've all been there with some food or other for sure. With me, it's like been Diet Coke for sure, but hot dogs specifically.
Wait a minute. Was that a circle of trust kind of thing? Are you disclosing people's addictions? Outside
we
of
haven't
the circle?
We haven't identified a soul.
That's right.
That's fair.
That's right. And this person,
but it's a pretty unique addiction.
Well, all right. If I suppose if you were to then start surveying the houses of the entirety of Yellowknife until you found one where someone was secretly cramming hot dogs every night.
Snooping on shopping carts.
And to be fair, it could be me. I love hot dogs.
That's fair.
Love them.
Yeah.
What the other thing we didn't ask this person was by addicted, how many hot dogs are you eating? How many constitutes an addiction?
Because there are some people out there who would be 3 a week is an addiction, and I would look at that and say 3 hot dogs a week.
An addiction. I mean, it depends how much KD you eat, right?
and then there are other people who would say, well, 57 a week. You'd be like, okay, that starts to sound. That starts to
probably cut back on that. That's a lot of sodium and nitrates.
That sounds like a competition.
You get healthy hot dogs, right?
Yeah, well, you can get veggie dogs.
That's disgusting. I'm not going to.
Have you ever tried a veggie dog?
Yeah, no, I've tried veggie stuff. It tastes like the thing it's trying to be. It just isn't.
But that's veggie stuff. Have you tried a veggie dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the veggie dog, veggie burgers, all that stuff. Yeah, if it's seasoned well, it'll taste like it, but it's not it. So
I remember I tried one not knowing, and I didn't know the difference. Yes. I couldn't tell.
Yes.
No, I honestly couldn't.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yeah, because you were like, why is this hot dog? It's a weird texture of this hot dog.
Why am I asking about this hot dog?
When my family was vegan, when I was about 14, 15 years old, we had vegetarian hot dogs that we referred to as not dogs, and they were absolutely indistinguishable from a Frankfurter.
Oh yeah, from a Frankfurter. So not dogs, which is not something you could say for actual hot dogs, because there's possibly dog meat in there.
Yeah. Get your possible dogs. Get your possible dogs.
But I think three hot dogs a week. I mean, depending on how much KD you're eating, because who doesn't put wieners in their KD, right?
I don't.
God, it's
not necessary.
You're so disagreeable. Every morning, I'm like, this is what people do, and you're like, I don't do that. Okay, fair enough.
I'm willing to bet Hot Dog Lady had perfect workout shoes, though.
She did.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone was decked out because they were ready to work, right? And then we sat down and we're like, we're going to just talk today. We're going to talk about this and talk about that. So on Wednesday we get into it.
Right.
But the meal plan, Ollie, I wanted to ask you, have you followed the meal plan as of yet?
No, I haven't. Although I realized last night in talking about it that my old method of making excuses is no longer going to work.
No.
So I for years have just been like, well, I get up super early. I don't want breakfast at 4:35, 5:30, whenever I get up. And then I'm at work and it's really busy in the morning, so I don't get time to make breakfast. And so woe is me. Oh, look, I'm eating badly. But it's the fault of life. And just would sort of pass that off on, anyone but me. And I now realize that it doesn't matter all the lovely set of excuses that I've been polishing for years. I now need to get on with it and find a way, and it's only going to affect me if I don't. So it was really interesting listening last night. And yes, Scott mentioned it, when he was talking to everybody. He talked about people who say, well, I don't have time to make breakfast in the morning and stuff like that, which is absolutely me. And so I'm saying, right, I need to do two things that I don't do very well. One is prepare food in advance, because I like to be surprised by food. I'm the kind of person who likes to get to lunchtime and be like, "Ooh, what'll it be?
What'll it be?"
And that
Korean takeout?
Yeah, that is not conducive to health.
No,
because
it's not.
You can't. You're supposed to prepare food in advance. That it's cheaper and it's better for you because you can do. But then you ruin the element of surprise for yourself. So that's a terrible attitude to have. So I need to get out of that, and I also need to be better at actually remembering to go and buy food. Yes. Because half the time I'm just like, never mind that. I got other things to be doing. I'll just pick up some food somewhere later on. That is a bad plan.
It's also a huge pain picking up that all those different kinds of food, because you want to have all the seasonings and all those things in there, and if you don't have them in your house, you have to buy them all. It's really expensive. Yep. But the other thing about eating differently, and obviously I am not a model for this, but is treating what Scott said is treating food like fuel rather than like your respite from the day. It can be both, but if you treat food as only like this is how I'm going to relieve my anxiety, and I'm just going to eat what makes me feel good.
Right.
In the
moment.
Or
just to remove hunger.
Exactly. Or just to make you feel good, to release those endorphins. That's when you get into trouble. When you start thinking of food as enjoyable but also fuel, then I think that'll be, I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But I think that'll be a more positive experience with food. I remember dating a girl way back when. And she became a yogi, and she started talking about food as fuel and not for pleasure. And I was like, that sounds just ridiculous. And I broke up with her on the spot.
So it definitely does sound like the first day of school. You went, you got your little orientation. You didn't do a whole lot, but now you've got kind of a homework assignment, and you're trying to make sense of this. It's like, this is the first day, and we already got homework. What is this garbage?
Yeah, but he just, I mean, like, what's great about it is it's not like a diet plan. It's not like he wants you to cut down sugars and dairy and things like that.
The things you know you should cut out.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So you can still eat a lot of things that you like to eat. Like you can have whole eggs in the morning. Great. Perfect. I'll eat that every day. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be good.
And that's where it's the issue for me is like eggs in the morning. How? Like I'm never going to get up early enough. I don't have the means to really do it here. But there are still things on that plan that I absolutely can do. And like shakes, things like that. And then I can augment that with something here later on in the morning. There are ways and means.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably don't have the ability to cook in the morning.
I can show you how to make scrambled eggs in the microwave.
Yeah, but no, I hate microwaved eggs.
Why?
There's something wrong with it. I don't know. I have a hang up about microwaving eggs. It's like, no, that eggs shouldn't have no eggs. I don't know why.
It's not a nut dog. They're eggs.
I don't know why, but microwaving eggs, like I'm happy with eggs in any other form, cooked in any other means, but microwaving them, I don't know why, but I've always had a hang up about that, and I can't defend
There is
that.
someone listening to you right now who is filled with wrong information who's saying, well, microwaves do make your food like irradiated and take all the nutrients out of it.
You don't understand. I'll microwave anything else.
Which is not true.
I will microwave anything else, but for some reason, microwaving eggs has always been like, well, I don't like the way that works.
That's where you draw the line.
You'd microwave a turkey?
Well, it depends. Is it alive or dead?
Leftover.
Leftovers. Yeah, I don't think I'd do that either.
Wouldn't microwave eggs or a turkey?
Anything.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
The Snow Kings Winter Festival just around the corner, of course, and they've announced their artist lineup, and it's pretty solid. You have a look at that there, bud?
I did. I was looking at it the other day. Yeah,
yes.
Some a pretty varied lineup from
no doubt.
A couple bands from the States, a couple from elsewhere in Canada, a couple from right here in Yellowknife.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a pretty good lineup. Notable names, of course, Carmen Braden, Megan Nash,
Digga Wolf.
I believe, Digga. Who else we got here? The Cam Neufeld Connection.
Yeah.
Bloodshot Bill.
Right?
Which should be fun from Montreal.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Andrea Betker, of course. Frosty Children's Theater is going to be there. Howie Miller, this is kind of cool. He's a stand-up comedian, and he was on a show called Caution May Contain Nuts. I think it's still going, but a friend of mine is also on that show named Aimé Baudouin, and Howie is a very, very funny man. Caution May Contain Nuts is on AP10. It's a sketch comp show.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's great. Miranda Curry, of course, awesome. Fireweed Children's Choir, Yellowknife Den drummers, all the usual suspects.
Ray Spoon, another one that a lot of people are really excited about. So pretty good lineup this year.
No doubt. Looking forward to it. You can find out more at snowking.ca. We'll be in and around there, I imagine. I'm actually looking forward to Billy Zizi, who I've heard a lot about, contemporary like R&B kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really cool. And then this other one, the Heavyweights Brass Band. I just love a brass band. That sounds awesome.
Can't go wrong with a good brass band.
That's right.
Especially in a snow castle.
Oh, Jakes, you want me a Coke?
Oh.
You can't talk until you get me a Coke.
I can't even grunt?
Ow! Well, now I get to punch you in the face.
In the face?
That's how Jinx works.
I thought it was the arm.
Face.
We've evolved.
We're adults now. When you're a kid, it's the arm. Adults, face. All the way. Snow King Winter Festival. Snowking.ca. It's running from March 2nd to the 31st, as per usual.
Looking forward to the comedy night, too.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
You know what? I always think I want to go in for that, and then I always chicken out.
Why?
Because I don't think I can come up with 10 minutes of...
Well, yeah, we never write anything.
I think I'll just alienate people.
I say
more
we as though I'm your writer.
That's right. We should write something.
Okay.
And then I'll do it.
Okay.
Because...
But
people
probably
like you more. Let's write something.
Nah, but
I'll write something and you do it.
No. Don't be ridiculous.
Come on. You can do it.
You are the actor.
But
you are the performer.
It would be funny to watch you, someone who everybody likes so much, just
try to be controversial.
Read stuff that I wrote that's really controversial or just really cynical. I think it'd be funny.
Although, if we portrayed the act that way.
Yeah.
My name is Scott Lechterman. Here's my comedy set as written by Jesse Wheeler.
Jesse Wheeler. The thing about being a big guy is, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
There might be something there.
I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do it. I'm kind of scared.
We'll work on it.
All right, we'll work.
It's okay.
Snow Castle 24 this year, March 2nd to the 31st, 2019, of course. Snowking.ca for more lineup information. We'll Have more on it as we creep ever closer.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast, where we delete all the bad bits and make them sound at least semi-coherent.
It turns out teens in the NWT are not using the condoms as much as they should be.
Well, that's all right, because we've got a bag of 100 of them left over.
Hundreds of them. That's right. And so this is, I
should clarify why we have a bag of 100 of them left over. We don't just have a communal supply. The Subarctic Sex Show here at Cabin Radio ran a thing through 2018 where you could come and grab some condoms, and there was a whole survey about different types. Condoms.
Condom.
Do I have a British pronunciation of the word?
A bit of an emphasis on that last syllable.
That's because that's where that emphasis lies. So, anyway.
Sounds condom.
Oh!
All right, moving on.
Serious topic, sorry.
I see. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that we do not have a bucket of communal cabin radio condoms that we just help ourselves to on any given night. Although now that we mention it.
That wouldn't be the worst thing.
It wouldn't be the worst thing to do, really.
In theory.
No.
Right?
So we'll just keep those condoms for ourselves. Okay, never mind. Moving on.
But this is based on a survey done by Foxy, and of course Nancy McNeil, friend of the show, has talked about this and is the one that brought in all of those condoms because she did all of this research on which condoms, tried to figure out which condoms were best. So she was trying to give condoms to her friends to test out to see which ones are good, because I think a lot of the reasons, education is one. Mm-hmm. I imagine adult content has something to do with it, like watching porn, and in porn a lot of people don't use protection, so I think that probably has something to do with it. Right. But education and those things, and pressure and all those things. Also, most condoms suck. Most condoms are terrible. So one of the things that she was trying to do was find condoms that were affordable, but also felt good.
Right.
Because the older style condoms, when I first became sexually active back in the 90s.
Yeah, back when they knitted them from lambskin.
That's right. I use lambskin. But they're thick. They take away a lot of, and that's one of the, and that's not an excuse, obviously, not to use them, but that's one of the reasons that kids my age back in the day gave, they take away all the feeling, so you don't use them. That's part of it. So she tried to find some condoms that
I don't know. I have such issues with this. They take away all the feeling. You're just doing it wrong. Anyway, carry on.
Well, no, fair enough. But that's the idea, right? Or that's the thought that they'll take away all the feeling. You won't be able to feel anything. The stigma. Yeah. It's you're fumbling with this thing and whatever. But they seem cumbersome. So I think the whole point. There was talk a few years ago about a spray-on condom. Don't have to fumble with a package. Don't have to fumble with lube. You just get it all around there and spray it on.
I can think of ways that could be abused.
Yeah. It sounds like there may still be some fumbling.
There's probably some fumbling. Just
can
spray
you imagine?
Spray me. That'd be a great part of foreplay, though, right?
Just try to
spray
imagine.
Me down.
All right. Steady on a morning show. I can just imagine recess in a high school playground, and someone has a can of the spray on.
And somebody sprayed condoms
just
in my
imagine, imagine the stories. That is a weapon that you do not want to be giving teenagers.
Weaponized condoms. There's something there.
I was thinking it would have really been funny if the headline of the story, teens not using condoms as much as they, should, or as often as we think. I thought it'd be pretty funny if that was just a big bait and switch headline. It's so they're not using condoms. Well, so they're just what are they doing? They're just celibate. What?
No, it's
celibate.
No, it's celibate.
Come on now. They're not having sex. What's wrong with these kids?
Taken out of context, that might be weird.
Mornings at the cabin.
Mornings at the cabin. Letting your children know that condom use is a good thing, I guess. Consistent condom use is 43% among girls and 52% among boys, which is based on research by the University of Toronto. This is a survey that was commissioned by Foxy. A total of 610 people for 17 communities filled out the survey. They ranged in age from 13 to 18. Consistent condom use was defined as using condoms every time during sex over 3 months. Only 19% of respondents said they were sexually active, and not a lot of them are using condoms. Less than the average.
50% of 19% that are
12 kids are using condoms. You can find out more about this report. I hate to pump another thing's tires, but CBC.ca has that story for you, and you can check that out. It's a little, I don't think it's it's a story that's interesting because, I mean, you would want, obviously, younger people to use condoms. You want more people. Everybody use condoms more, especially now that super gonorrhea is a thing. But based on, like, experiences throughout my life, most of these reports come to find the same thing. Kids aren't using condoms as much as they should.
Right.
So it is a little alarming.
I guess it's just
but not out of the ordinary.
Despite how many years of consistent, continued effort, among sexual education, that this is something that's in your best interest.
Yes.
To be practicing regularly.
It's
a little alarming that apparently is not taking the way I think thought it would be by now.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's obviously a lot of psychology that goes with this, but I wonder, like, if the making of sex a taboo, or you know what I mean? Like, it's still kind of seen as a taboo, especially for younger people.
Right.
That might play into some of this stuff.
It's not.
I'm going to break all the rules. I'm going to have sex, even though I'm not kind of supposed to, and I'm also going to break that other rule, which means I'm not going to use a condom because I'm going to cast away all these rules because all these people are telling me I can't do it.
Right.
Perhaps. Maybe.
So you're saying the answer
is
tell kids not to use condoms?
No.
Oh, okay.
What?
Sorry, I thought that's where you're headed.
Yes, I advocate.
And they would do the opposite and break those rules.
That's right.
And start. Yeah,
that's right.
Anyway.
I think the only recourse is spray on condoms. Just dipping children in a vat of latex once they turn 14.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
We don't talk about the White House much because there's just every day there's some other horrible nonsense coming out of there. This one's also horrible nonsense, but it's kind of funny. So Clemson is the college football team that won the national championships.
Right.
They won against the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. And they are, of course, guests at the White House after that. You know, you invite every championship team. A lot of teams are basically deciding not to go.
And then they're being uninvited.
After they fix it. That's fair. But Clemson was invited to the White House, and they accepted the invitation. And because of the government shutdown, none of the chefs are in the White House right now.
Right.
So the president, Donald Trump, decided that the best recourse would be to buy them all McDonald's. So there's a long table with beautiful silverware and plates and all these things and
put all that out.
Gold. No, the people that are still working. Not everyone's been furloughed by the government shutdown. There's still some people that run that house, like gold candelabras and silver serving plates and all these things filled with Big Macs and like there's one tray, a big beautiful silver tray that's probably from Abraham Lincoln's time, filled with nugget sauce. It is the worst. I mean, it makes sense. Like, a lot of people are like, well, they're college kids. Of course they want McDonald's. It's like, yeah, they can get McDonald's literally anytime they want. These kids are doing like probably 2-a-days during the season,
right,
or like in training camp. They're probably training ridiculously hard. They can have a Big Mac or 4 or 5 and not even feel it based on how much working out they're doing.
Right.
They can have McDonald's anytime they want. They're college kids. They're not allowed to take money until the NCAA decides to actually not use them as indentured servants. And
in theory,
so they probably eat McDonald's a bunch. You know, they have their own food, but I mean, they probably eat McDonald's a bunch. So they go to the White House.
Wait, are you implying these kids are struggling financially?
I am implying that possibly that's the case. Yeah. Although a program like Clemson is probably putting a ton of money into their football program and probably treating those kids pretty well.
I think they're paying them, probably okay.
But they're probably okay. But the point is that they can get McDonald's anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
And they go to the White House.
Yeah.
And Dipwad over there is like, you know what? McDonald's, it's great. It's great. It's American. It's as American as apple pie. which he did not serve.
No, of course not.
Well, no, he probably had the McDonald's apple pie.
Yeah. I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures,
and
right?
He is desperate. He is desperate. But I mean, there's a restaurant that he owns, a world-class restaurant that he owns,
right,
within walking distance of the White House. And he was just like, you know what?
Well,
McDonald's.
First of all, I will say I didn't know that serving the team, whatever championship team it happens to be, I did not know that serving them a meal was always part of that.
You guest at the White House, you stay, you do the photo op, you take the tour, you have a meal. I mean, if you invite somebody over your house, you should feed them.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Something. A cracker.
That's why I don't invite people over, because they always expect food.
Well, yeah, but that's the last time I went over. All I got was a beer. Didn't even get
and you won't even get that next time.
That's right. I complained.
Yeah, I did not know that was part of it. I just thought it was kind of you go for a photo op and, nobody shows up because nobody wants to be seen with Donald Trump. And then they get uninvited, and that's just kind of the way it goes.
That's how it goes.
So I didn't know that was part of it, so that was interesting to me. But I will say, to play devil's advocate, there's a quirkiness to it.
Right, there is. Right, there's a almost like a folksy type of thing. But we know he's not folksy.
No.
He's an idiot.
Yes.
So I mean, if it was like George W. Bush, even though he's a war criminal, you'd still be like, W.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, especially now.
Yeah, especially now because he's like Uncle W. Like we've forgotten that. All the horrible things he did. But I mean, there's a folksiness to it for sure. And I'm sure that's the angle that they were trying to push.
Right.
Also, we're not spending taxpayer dollars by using people who are actually employed by us to make the food. I'm going to buy McDonald's out of my own pocket. Probably cost them a couple grand.
Right.
But the thing is, it's the weirdest thing to see in the White House, a spread of McDonald's while 800,000 people are out of work. And
it's strange.
We're having them over. We're going to have McDonald's served on gold plates.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think the biggest problem I have with this, though, is that laying out a McDonald's meal like that, and, presumably it's been laid out at least 10 minutes before.
It's also gross.
Well, I love McDonald's. Don't get me wrong. But those fries would be so cold.
Terrible.
By then.
If you do not eat fries within 10 minutes.
You got a window.
10 minutes, you don't eat them.
Yeah. You got a window. When it closes, it's not so pleasant.
You throw them away.
So these kids were subjected to old cold fries.
That's right.
Way to be champions.
That's right. Yeah. Congratulations on your national championship. Here's some old junk food. And that's.
Those cheeseburgers keep forever, but
that's
the fries.
The first thing I thought was well, those fries aren't going to be any good. When I saw the picture, I wasn't
same page all morning.
I wasn't taken aback by the silverware and all that stuff. I was taken aback. I was like, that food's not going to be any good for those kids. It's going to be too cold.
You can't keep those fries fresh forever. What's he thinking?
They're too cold. You can't eat that food anymore. It's too cold. Poor kids.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.